What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be going over some things that you need to know before you start testosterone. I've got a list of things here that people submitted to me, whether it was on Instagram or on Twitter, about things that they would like to know before they start T if they haven't started yet, or things that they wish they had known before they started T. Now, before we get into all this stuff, I want you guys to know that this video is in no way, shape, or form meant as like a deterrent. I'm not trying to get anyone to not start testosterone. This isn't a list of things that are absolutely horrible about testosterone. It's nothing like that. It's literally just kind of like a cautionary tale, just some stuff for you to look out for, just to make sure that you're informed and you know what you're getting into before you actually start testosterone. So now that we've got like that little disclaimer out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump straight into this list. Also, I got this like mini LED box light finally, so if I look a little bit washed out, it's because I haven't quite figured out how to use a lighting kit yet. Bear with me here while I figure out like new equipment and stuff. So first things first, this one was actually requested a lot. I'm gonna call it Shark Week just because I know that some of you guys may not be comfortable with the more medical term. We'll just call it Shark Week in this video, but yeah, not everybody's Shark Week goes away. Some people do still experience bleeding even after they've been on testosterone for months or years. For example, speaking from personal experience, when I made the switch from intramuscular injections to subcutaneous injections, I was well over 2 years on testosterone at that point, but for some reason that first week or two where I was making the transition from intramuscular to subcutaneous, I did experience not like a super heavy Shark Week, but I was bleeding kind of spotty, like off and on for a few days, and that absolutely wrecked me, and yeah, it was just not a fun time. But that is something that you need to be aware of. Not everybody's Shark Week goes away. Some people experience bleeding throughout their entire transition, whether they've been on testosterone for a while or not, and other people, it goes away within like the first month of them starting testosterone. Before I had the bleeding incident when I switched from intramuscular to subcutaneous, my Shark Week stopped, I want to say like a month, maybe a month and a half after I started injections, so mine went away relatively quickly, and I never had any issues until that incident where I just made the switch. My body was just adjusting to this new method of injections, and that's why I got my Shark Week. And of course, if somebody gets like a hysterectomy or something like that, then obviously they won't have any more Shark Weeks. So just keep in mind that your menstrual cycle, your period may or may not go away, your Shark Week may or may not go away, or it may come back, it may fluctuate. Just keep it in mind and bring it up to your doctor if it's a concern of yours, and they'll be able to give you more information on like how to maintain your dose and things like that, just to try and keep things as steady as possible. Second thing that I want to talk about kind of also goes in hand with another thing on this list, so I'm going to combine them into one. Your sex drive is going to skyrocket, and bottom growth will be almost immediate and a little bit uncomfortable. And I don't mean uncomfortable as in like dysphoria inducing, I mean uncomfortable in the literal sense of the word. Honestly, when I first started testosterone, one of the first things that I felt, my sex drive was incredible. I was always in the mood, I was always ready to go. And then, right after I noticed the uptick in my sex drive, I also noticed that my bottom growth was becoming more noticeable. And the reason that I kind of noticed it coming in was not because it was getting like massive overnight, but because it was starting to hurt. It's almost like a growing pain, basically. It doesn't hurt to the point where you're like, oh my god, like it's cramping, but it can be uncomfortable, especially when it starts to kind of like poke out. Everybody knows that bottom growth is just your clitoris getting bigger, and it can grow anywhere from 1 to 5 centimeters, and there are over 8,000 nerve endings in your dick. So of course, as it gets bigger, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's kind of a learning curve almost, figuring out what boxers feel the most comfortable, how to sit, how to cross your legs, and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Your sex drive is gonna be through the roof, and it can get a little bit uncomfortable. One thing that I found really helped me when I was experiencing discomfort from bottom growth was wearing looser pants and looser underwear. That would help me out a lot, and yeah, just in general wearing looser pants, just to kind of give your little dude a bit more like wiggle room, a little more room to breathe. Bottom growth is really cool, and it was honestly one of the like big things that I was actually looking forward to before I started testosterone. I was really excited to see how my body would change in that sense, but it was kind of a shock to me to be able to actually like feel my bottom growth, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is blood work, or like lab work, I guess you could call it. When I first started testosterone, I was like a broke high school student. I didn't exactly have the income to support monthly checkups, like monthly lab work. And some clinics may not require you to do your blood work monthly. They may require more of a regular schedule, say like every 3 months or every 6 months. It really just depends on your doctor or the clinic or wherever you're getting your testosterone from. As much as blood work is a pain in the ass, as much as labs are super expensive and just a pain in the butt to get through, they are really, really necessary, because you really want to make sure that your testosterone levels are staying within a healthy range and you're not either going too high or too low. Testosterone does tend to increase your risk of heart issues, blood pressure issues, and things like that. So if you do have a family history of like heart disease or something like that, you should probably speak with your doctor about that before you start testosterone. If your levels are too high, the excess testosterone will actually turn back into estrogen, so you'll be kind of like canceling out the effects of the shots anyways. So that's another reason that you want to get frequent lab work done. And of course, if your levels are too low, then you won't be experiencing the changes that you want. So again, it's better to just bite the bullet, get it over with, go get your blood work done on the schedule that you and your doctor decide on together, whether that's monthly, 3 months, 6 months, or once a year. It's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to testosterone and your levels. You just want to make sure that you're maintaining a healthy level of testosterone in your body and maintaining a good level of overall health. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is skin changing, like how your skin changes and how your hair changes on testosterone. I know a ton of guys are worried about acne and their like hairline changing or male pattern baldness just randomly kicking in. First things first, you're not gonna go bald after 1 month on testosterone, okay? It's not immediately gonna make anything change. I've been on testosterone for a long time and I haven't really noticed any major changes in my skin. I do remember that around like the 6 month to a year on testosterone mark, my acne was really bad. I had always had very dry skin and I had never really had any issues with acne. I could kind of tell that my skin was getting really greasy, really oily, and I didn't really know how to deal with that. So I was just using products that weren't good for me and it was really making me break out. Once I passed the 1 year mark and I figured out a consistent dose and a consistent skincare routine, my skin cleared up. I still have the occasional flare up. If you have cystic acne or if you just have a persistent breakout that just never seems to go away, I would definitely recommend talking to your doctor about it, whether that's your endocrinologist, and you can talk about adjusting your dose if you feel like that's necessary, or if you go to like a dermatologist, they may be able to, Jesus Christ. Your dermatologist may be able to kind of, you know, put you on something, whether that's Accutane or anything else, that will just get rid of the cystic acne for you. Now, when it comes to hair changes, like the hair on my head and stuff, the only change that I noticed right away when I started testosterone was my hair texture got different. So it's not as soft as it used to be, and my hair actually got curlier once I started testosterone. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually because of the testosterone or if it's because of the hairstyles. You know, I cut all my hair off, so all the dead ends, all the heavy weight that were kind of like pulling my curls and stretching my curls out. I don't know if it's because I got rid of all that they're able to thrive a little bit more now. My hair definitely got coarser and it definitely got curlier. I have always had a shit hairline, okay? I've always had a big ass forehead. It's one of my biggest insecurities. But I actually didn't really notice my hairline shifting that much on testosterone. And as far as balding goes, you really don't have to worry about male pattern baldness unless it's in your family history already. So if you're genetically predisposed to male pattern baldness, I would definitely speak with your doctor about that. You could start some sort of supplement on the side like finasteride or anything like that. And there are other ways to get around male pattern baldness as well, such as topical treatments like minoxidil. But again, something to talk to your doctor about. The last 2 things that I'm going to talk to you about, again, they kind of like mesh together, so I'm just basically combining them into one thing. Mood swings and like your overall mental health. A lot of guys were asking me, does testosterone actually make your head clearer? Does it actually make it easier for you to think? Does it clear like the brain fog up? Does it actually make you happier? In the beginning, it was very difficult adjusting because just with the constant up and down in your levels, you will be experiencing some mood swings. You're basically going through puberty all over again. So yeah, I definitely did experience mood swings, and something that I struggled with a lot. I was really angry. This is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I was the type of white dude that would punch walls when I got upset. So yeah, I don't like admitting that, but it's true. But after a while, once my dose got settled and once I got more comfortable with myself, I feel way, way better. I'm proud to say that I don't punch walls anymore. I don't get nearly as angry as I used to, but within those first few months and even within the first year and a half, if you're anything like me, it's hard to regulate your emotions and you're going through all these insane changes. Don't beat yourself up about it. I love testosterone. I'm so grateful that I've been able to transition and I've been able to be on testosterone. I do, however, miss being able to cry. It feels like when I used to be a big crybaby and I cried at everything, now I can only cry at things that you probably shouldn't be crying at, if that makes sense. I mean, you know, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the mood swings. Keep an eye out for the fact that you might not be able to cry anymore. But don't beat yourself up up about it, you know? Give yourself some grace. You're going through a lot of changes. It's gonna be hard. And one thing that I really want to kind of like drive home for you guys before I end this video is testosterone doesn't make you into somebody or something that you're not. It doesn't change your personality. It doesn't change who you are. Somebody messaged me on Instagram and asked if they would become a different person or if it was going to change their personality, and they were worried about going on T because they didn't want to lose their sense of self. Nothing about who you are, the music you like, your favorite color, you know, your sense of humor, none of that is going to change. It might change because you're growing up, it might change because you're getting older, you're maturing, but it won't change from testosterone alone. Testosterone is not an end-all cure-all to, you know, your depression or your anxiety. I'm just telling you that, like, if you have something that you feel like you need to work on, don't rely on testosterone to do that work for you. Testosterone alone won't change those things. But yeah, those are all the things that I wish I had known before I started testosterone. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their submissions about what they wish they had known before they started testosterone. I really appreciate you guys interacting with me like that. It means a lot. If there's something else that I didn't cover in this video that you still have questions about, if there's any other topics that you would like to talk about, please comment them down below. My comment section is always open for discussion, so if you've got anything to say, please put it in the comments, and I would love to talk to you guys. If you're still watching at this point, thank you so much for sticking around. Please give this video a thumbs up, click that like button if you enjoyed it, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that. It would mean a lot to me. It takes 5 seconds and it's free, so that's all that I have to say in this video today, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.